Can you, yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So we're making a recording for it's a German girl as well. How's the weather in Germany, by the
So
way?
you want to do it in German?
No, we do it in English.
Yeah.
Because my German is not so. Ja,
Okay.
ich kann es versuchen, aber naja, es wird schwierig.
Das hört sich gut an.
Na, nur so weit, ja. Wenn ich dann überfahren erkläre, dann, dann es wird langsam.
Very professional, but not without accents.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm always worried that I have my Russian accent when I speak German.
No, you don't have that. No.
Yes, probably Latvian language probably has saved me.
The what?
We can mix it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see, Marijn, you're sticking your paper. Yeah, that's good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah, of course. Like, well, I do it because, of course, it's comfortable. You don't have to hold your paper, yeah, when you're painting, so it's not moving. And of course, the white frame looks always nicer.
Yeah.
Yes, especially with those kind of paintings, you see, we have all this black area on top, and then of course it looks dirty, you know, when you color. Yes.
Yeah.
And so actually, with the colors, so here I have prepared two parts. So this is, let's say, the necessary one. Yes. Of course, white. Then, so this one is not black, it's Payne's gray. Yeah. You know, the one I always suggest to use instead of black because it's more bluish. Yes, but one can do some pirates and it looks like black. But also if you add more water, then yeah, it looks just nicer. And then we have light blue, Himmelblau. Yeah, so we have the part of the sky. Then we have yellow. And then actually, so mixing blue and yellow, of course, you can get greens. Yes. So for example, here instead, of course, if one has, you can use some turquoise color if you have ready. Why not? Yes. But if you don't, you can mix green, then add white, and then you can get those turquoise. Yes. And if you mix more blue, then you get it this way. If you add more yellow, then you're getting this green that is on the wall. Yeah. And then we have brown. Let's say it's probably I use just a little bit for the hair, and yes, maybe somewhere in this building. And red. Then of course we have this building outside, and then the dress. Yes, she's in pink. So then red mixing with white, and then once again, so if you have already one. Also this Naples yellow, yes, very popular one. You can use it for skin, but if you don't, you can always mix this nice peachy color. Yes, so it's pink and yellow, and then you add white to see how intense you want it. Yeah? So you guys just go checking which ones you have. Yeah, if you don't have those, then let me know. We can use just the minimum. If you have, because it's just easier, you know, it just probably like saves your time and also saves paint, because then you don't have to mix it. You have just the ready ones. Yeah, so those. Yeah, you have also the original painting somewhere in front of you. Yeah.
We have your painting.
Oh, you have my painting, but I was also sending in a chat
I
the
don't-
original one, because
Du hast mir
No.
das geschickt. Send it to me. It's the original.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah.
yeah, I should also add you, Anna, to the chat, of course, if you want. And the brush is probably, yeah, the usual ones, a bit bigger, yeah, for the big areas, and then tiny ones for the details. Yeah, of course, on the person, there is lots of
And
small
really-
lines. And I have a sponge.
Yeah. Sponge,
Yeah.
No sponge.
Yeah, so it's not a must, it's just a suggestion that maybe sometimes it's easier, let's say, to wipe these areas like this black, because then maybe you don't want all these brush strokes, and it's just quicker and kind of, yes.
Soll ich einen Sponge
But of course, it's
Hmm.
just something like extra. Mhm. And we will start with the sketch. Yeah. Yes, you're ready, Lorraine? Yes, you have pencil.
Yes, we are ready. Почти.
Почти. So is it rainy in Germany or is it sunny?
No, it's not rainy. It's stormy. It was a storm in Holland and in Germany.
Hmm.
Trees fell down, and some people died in Holland. And
Oh, such a storm.
yes, really storm, exactly. Yeah. But
Hmm.
now over already, more or less. Yeah. And you are safe and sound in Little Riga. There is no wind there. No.
Well, it's some rain and snow is still melting, but yeah, no wind, no stormy wind yet. Maybe it's coming yet from
Snow? Is there snow?
a little bit, yes. In some parts of Latvia, still more of snow, in some less, but
Hmm.
And what temperature do you have?
yeah, good question. I wasn't checking that. But it's
Under 0 degrees.
It's
say
freezing.
again.
Under 0 degrees. Under 0.
No, I didn't get it.
Freezing. Is it freezing?
Oh, freezing. No. It's definitely maybe like +2 or something
Yeah.
like this. Yeah. No, it's. I'm already waiting for spring. So
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah,
We all.
I imagine. Yes.
Okay.
All right. So when we start, for example, we are starting our composition, or with Hopper, of course, it's easy. He has such lots of straight lines, so we can start off them, and then actually the lines are pointing, yeah, where the figure is sitting. Here also this diagonal of the window, and so to get it quickly on the paper, we can, for example, see. Let's say, aha, the window, it takes like 1/3 of our paper. Yeah, so then it's easy. I can approximately kind of mark, and then I say, aha, somewhere here is this line of, okay, got it. Yeah, so where, and then, so you can do it with eyes, or you can also, of course, measure. Yes, so also maybe, yeah, so it's not half, it's more lower where this diagonal of the window leaves, yeah. And of course, in the process, you can change the lines and yeah, adjust them. So let's say like this, then we can more or less plan this line of the shadow. So then somewhere here probably, yes, what you can also do, for example, you can take the head, put it straight, and then I see it's kind of really in the middle of the window. Yeah, so it's also kind of a tip that I can use then to mark where where the girl is sitting. And then, yes, and maybe I can just very lightly sketch the back. So then I have a feeling where I'm getting, yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, so then this line of the bed. Yeah, so it's a little bit like collecting the puzzle, some parts. You start with the easy ones that you can spot, and then yes, for example, also you can pay attention how this, let's say, this dark space between bed and window, how it looks in proportions. So if it's like long and tall, then yeah, and then you put it on your paper and you see if it looks different, if it looks more fat. So this is also a moment how you can compare. So the window, also this line is not going straight, the one that is on the, this where the window is finished. It's a little bit, so here it's almost thin line, but then it goes a little bit up. Yeah, it's a bit opening somewhere. Yeah, something like this. So, yeah, then we can, again, for example, the where the bed is ending, again, I can kind of continue this line. Yes, and I see that it's pointing on this corner. Yes, then again, it's a help for me to find where it is. Yeah, then there is the pillow. Yes, one should always restrain by doing the details. Yes, it's normal one tend to start drawing all some tiny parts on dress, but first, of course, all these big parts. Yes. Then let's say we see also the hands are ending just before this big line, yeah, the black line. So this is then also I can kind of mark, and then it gives me the point how I go with my hand on the upper. Yes, and then check also the elbow where it meets. So then the elbow is not maybe too high. Yes. And then we see also that the knees. Yes, then okay. Two knees we can see up, and then this part where it's kind of folding the legs, it's almost next to the hand. Yeah, so then I can go really up. Yes, and again, for example, where the feet are ending, I check vertically. So we can check all points vertically and horizontally where to leave. Yes, and just depends which one is more convenient for us. That's what we use. So the feet are ending where these two blue lines are ending. So probably. Yeah, so also it's good to check because it's common to paint feet smaller than they are. I don't know why, but it just happens. So one just has to paint them always bigger than you want, and then you will be right in a size. So
have more space between the bed and the wall and the window.
Yes, and then of course correcting. So for example, now I got to the neck and I see, yes, that I need to do my head also, like the hair much more behind. Yes, and yes, then again you can check vertically where the nose is ending. It's ending somewhere where the elbow is. Yes, so then I kind of draw a straight line, and then that's where my nose is. Yes, also, for example, for ear, that's this thing is always kind of, if you don't check it, it's easy that it goes somewhere wrong place. So again, where the ear is, yes, and then you just find some point that kind of helps you to, yeah, I see that it's going right on top of this little hole, little emptiness between arm and the breast, this triangle. So this is the vertical line where I can put the ear. No? Yeah, so like this kind of step by step, one can. Yes, and then you can also follow shadows just as if they are, you know, lines and triangles. So like at this stage, just see, okay, this size triangle of light, and then this size line of shadow, and yes, because of course proportions of the human body are the ones, the complicated ones to do. Because I remember when I was studying drawing in this was like painting school, and the teacher would tell that there was a lady who'd come and say, oh, I want, you know, to learn how to draw, how to paint, but I want to paint only flowers. Yes, I don't want all these complicated, these hands and all the stuff that sometimes one has to do. And then the teacher would say, if you learn how to paint the human head, let's say the portrait, then you can paint, you can draw anything. Because that's where there are so much tiny details, because if you move eyes 1 millimeter to the left, yes, that's it. Your portrait is not similar, you know, and people usually judge, you know, it could be painted very nicely, but they would say, oh no, it doesn't look like this girl, and that's it. So yeah, so she started learning how to do all this stuff, the portraits, and then she went back to painting flowers. So yes, you can also, as you use pencil, you can also marking, for example, some shadow parts. Yeah, it might also help a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to be like a lot, but let's say if I'm drawing some line, and then I see the shadow is going, you know, one side of this line, then I just kind of color a little bit with the pencil dark, because it helps. yeah, so of course, now I did lots of work and details on the body, but again, once you're sure where the body is, then you can get into the detail. Because then you find, oh, it's actually maybe too left on the page, or you can later cut a little bit if it's paper. If it's canvas, you can't. And then you have to erase, and you already did so much work doing all the details. So it happens. It happened to me a lot. And then like, oh, you erase and nothing to do. So Edward Hopper, of course, he's very famous by painting light. I think he also himself, he said, if I could paint just light on the wall, that's kind of was his what he found interesting, let's say. So of course, this is realism. And for those time, it was like really photographic, like very high level of realism. And although he actually was, at the start, he was inspired by Impressionists. So like the Gouache, for example. And from the Gouache, he, let's say, maybe learned, or some elements that he took was this interesting, let's say, picture cropping, because the guy, he also has these ballerines and dancers, and it's cropped as if it's a photo, and then we crop it in some interesting way. So in Edward Hopper, you can also find this. And so the woman that we are painting now, it's Edward Hopper's wife. So she was, of course, very often a model, but he painted her not as a wife, but just as any woman. So, for example, when she posed for this painting, she, I think, was already close to her 60s. And of course, we see kind of young woman. So that shows that he was just, it's like not painting your wife, but just using it as a model. And Edward Hopper also, he started to become more famous, starting earning better with his art only after his 40s. And in the start, he always struggled. He had to do some other jobs, like also in publishing, like doing illustrations. He didn't like it, but he had to do it. And then afterwards, when he got married, they got married also around their 40s. And actually, so his wife, she helped him, to succeed more. She arranged at some museum. They took him for the exhibition, and they later bought some of his paintings. So yes, and if I'm not wrong, they're from New York, so they would. He would live all life there. He would travel to France sometimes for some also painting inspirations. So how are you doing? Is it difficult to sketch?
No, it's going well, I think.
Well, with Marine, I have no doubts with your architecture skills. Because I remember when we painted the bridge, wow, you were
Bridge.
Yes, with everything what's considered perspective. And
Ah, yeah. You mean the wooden bridge, yes?
it was maybe, yeah, a year ago or something, but it was, yeah, there were trees, bridge, and then.
Ah, yes, in a boat.
And you also modified, you added some, a little bit like, was it Calatrava or someone this?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so of course Mariah knows it, but I'll repeat. Yes, when we do these windows on this red building, and of course they get smaller. So the closest windows to ours are bigger, and then the more far away they go, they're smaller. And, this painting, I was searching for in Google, and this painting became very popular recently because of the COVID. So it kind of represents this sitting at home and this. So yes, you can also mark these foldings on the bed.
Oh yeah, the bed. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, already finished.
Well, I mean, because I do the sketch, of course, it's yeah, with this black ink, it's schematical. I have my pencil sketch already in. Yeah, but no worries, take your time, because and feel free to ask or. Yeah, or also you can send a quick photo if you have
Mhm.
doubts maybe about a person, because sometimes it's like it feels maybe a bit strange, yeah, but one cannot always quickly say which proportions are not doing good, so maybe. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I sketched it very lightly.
Yeah, so with a big paper, of course, then it takes, yes, more time. It might be more easier when you paint all the details from the person, because then of course it won't be so tiny. But then of course you have to be more precise with proportions. Yeah, so let's do.
I think it's not, you can't see it. You can send it to me.
Well, let's see, Marine. The building is very nice, of course, and all the, yes, the only thing, it's just a comment, you don't have to maybe correct. You know, this is also the way kind of we measure. So for example, take a look, Marat, if I measure this part, this blue and yellow, yes, and then I can see how many times it fits here. Yeah, let's say it fits one time, and yes, and if I take a look, it's almost, they're almost equal. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe not so important, but I just want, you know, like it's just the method one always with eyes, or it's okay to take a pen in hand and measure. Yes. So, and let's take a look on a person. Yeah, I mean, she's sitting more straight in your case, and it's okay. Yeah. And I see maybe the legs. So the leg is a little bit too thin. So this one that is under the knee. Yeah. It feels so like this direction of this one is a little bit too vertical. So maybe if you correct this line, so you have like this, and if you go a little bit lower, then it maybe help you to do this part of the leg a little bit more fat, because this one is too thin.
Okay.
So it looks like as if yeah, it's so I understand that you did this point, yes, close to the hand, but you see you did it kind of close to the elbow. So if you just move this point, let's say kind of in the middle of the hand, yes, so the point where they are, let's say, folding the legs, yes, then it should become. Okay. Yeah, but still very nice.
Oh yeah, she's more up. Yeah, she's more sitting up. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but sitting up actually could look also nice. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look bad. But the leg, I would try to correct a little bit this triangle. Yes, on the,
yes.
Yes, and let's take a look to Anna's. Yeah, very nice.
A little bit smaller than at the picture, I think.
Yes. Yes, all the yeah, she feels a little bit smaller. Let's say if I look general proportions of the bed and the room, yes.
Yeah.
She feels like maybe like 0.75, let's say, you know, when you minimized. Yes, I imagine maybe cutting off a little bit the bed, yeah, would maybe help, because otherwise, yeah, she looks a bit small, yeah, but yeah, because the girl itself, she looks nice. Maybe I would add maybe a bit more lines here with the dress. So again, also here on the back where she's sitting with her paw. So maybe a bit more all these foldings. Yes, but yeah, because of course I see you did here very carefully, and I really don't want to make you enlarge her. So that's maybe then kind of, yeah, just maybe so this line of the bed, maybe moving it a little bit closer to her will help kind of, let's say, we will have a bit more space in front of the bed, and but then it might, yeah, but for example, in your case, the window looks nice. Yeah, so in this proportion, then we have more sky, and yeah, because and then again, you see, so for example, this line of the window, yeah, where this blue, light blue, and then the dark starts, it's going like really to your feet, yeah, vertically.
Yeah.
Yes, and then if you take a look at your one, then of course she's more, but I mean, it's okay. One needs, practice and training. This is doesn't have to be, yeah. Yeah, of course, for example, there is technique, I mean, that you can enlarge. Yeah, so now I will ruin a bit my black sketch. But for example, yeah, if I feel that my figure is too small, then I don't really have to erase completely. I just kind of go, yeah, with all the lines a bit, with everything a little bit on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of just making double the lines, and like this I make bigger the figure, because in proportions you got her good, just her general size in comparison to the, yeah. So what can also help, so you decide, yeah, it's also okay to leave like this and we can paint. If you decide, no, I want to have her a bit bigger, then you kind of just lighten up with eraser, yeah, so you don't erase completely. Yeah, and then you go with these double lines on top, let's say. Yes. Kind of just doubling all the lines, also the legs, just kind of making the other contour around your contour. Right? But, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and also a little bit the same like Marine that I see now, that you guys make this leg like too thin. You make it, yes, maybe just what you have is part of the light, but it has to be almost downsized. Yes, it looks a little bit. I apologize, like a chicken when it has like fine, thin legs. Yeah, the body. So just a little bit of this. Oh, I forgot the name. This tights, or these muscles on the back of the leg. Yeah, but still very nice. Yeah, Mariah is good at.
Mhm.
Yeah, so also, for example, you both have postures that it feels sitting a bit more straight. Yes, and it's okay, it can be like this. But then again, if you do the same exercise, yeah, taking anything in a position of vertical line, so then again, it says the ear, yes, where it lives. And then if you check on the Hopper painting and you check on yours, then you just see it's horizontally, like in a different, it's more to the back. And that's why it's kind of, but in this case, it's okay because it can be a position like this, yeah? But yeah, so in all this complicated thing, like creating a person, it's all the time checking where one point is living according to other point, vertically or horizontally. Yeah, so yeah, and it's also, let's say, for example, the chin. Yes, if I put it lower, then it feels maybe she's head is going down. If I put the chin up, yeah, then it's as if she's looking up. And then I just check, yes, in horizontally, yeah, where the chin is. Yeah, the chin is, let's say, where the back is starting. It could be also lower, if the person. So, because I remember, even if you are painting a live person, yeah, someone says, okay, I'll pose you, sitting in the armchair, and it's okay. You just straighten up your hand, and you can do this exercise, and you say, aha, the ear is ending. Okay, where the like middle of the mouth, yeah. And this is very good technique.
Ist okay, so. Sagen wir mal so klein. Mhm.
And what also, just as you know, so you know for the future, it's sometimes you do the pencil sketch. Yeah, it's maybe not perfect, and you think, later when I do the colors, then I'll correct it. And usually it's not. Yes, because later you think about the colors to mix the tones, and then you kind of just automatically follow what you did with the pencil. And it's much more difficult to correct the drawing structure later with the colors. So sometimes one can spend a lot of time exactly for this part.
Okay.
And also, for example, lightening up. Yeah, if you say, okay, it's ready, then can go, especially where the light parts will be. Yes, can just lighten up a little bit the pencil. But then just very good, blow all this eraser dust. Yeah, the best way just to put the paper vertically and blow all them away.
alles wieder wegmachen?
Nee,
Also so leicht, ne?
nee, why?
Ich habe das für viel dunkler gemacht. Ah, egal.
Yeah, we will paint it over so you will
Yeah,
not see anything.
Yeah. Any shadows now?
No.
Inside the drawing. Aber guck mal, das ist the rubber und die radiert es wieder.
No, she's just correcting. Evgenia is just correcting
Only
things.
correcting, not
Yeah.
not dicing.
No.
So again, what was it? I missed it.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting till you say you're ready to paint with the.
Are you raising things in your painting?
I'm ready to start with paint, so I'm waiting. Yeah, once you're ready, we can continue with colors, but no rush at all.
No, we are ready.
Yeah, we can start with the coloring.
Okay, great. Yes. So I suggest we start with all these light parts. So this green light on the wall, then these light blues inside the window. There's the sky, and then yes, yellow and the house maybe an hour later. And then we move to the girl. We will also do, let's say, in stages. Yeah, we will do some base color for body and dress. And then we'll leave it a bit and then come back to put some shadows on top. So, but as usually, it's always best start with the light colors, yeah, and all these black walls. And of course, it's easy to do in the end. And I'm putting blue on my palette, and of course, I put white.
Light blue, yes. Big paper.
Yes, I'm putting light blue, himmelblau, and then white. And then let's say I can put some yellow. Yes, and then later I can mix blue and yellow to get the green for the wall. And I know you guys have turquoise, so we can both together use turquoise for this inside part of the window and then just pair. Yeah, so it's also be careful, let's say, if we put now sky, then I would, go maybe for the other blue parts of window and wall, and then come back for this yellow stripe once the sky is dry, because blue and yellow, they mix easily, create green, and then you might get green on the sky, and that's so. And then you see he has this white part, like let's say sky or clouds. Yes, so this is also the place where sponge can work well. So I take my blue paint, a little water, yes, because I want it to be kind of intense here on top. Yes, and also because here we have lots of straight lines. So in the parts where you want it to be the straight line, you hold your brush kind of not with the ending to the line, but you hold it like, let's say, parallel to the line. Yes, like this, and then you will get the straight line. And then now if I want a straight line here on the side, then I hold my brush vertically. But also, of course, no worries so much, because later you will have these black lines and they will cover if you now go a little bit over. So on with the line where the yellow is, yeah, then you might go now a bit more. So I'm putting really intense blue, yeah, little water there on upper side, and then I can do both. So I will add a bit more water. So then I can start kind of blurring it out. Yes, and I also suggest mixing white, you know, to create this mix where the cloud is. It actually can work both straight away or later when the blue is dry, and then you add some. But if you add white now, then wash really good your brush, yes, because otherwise the blue is very sticky in color. And yes, so what the reason why, for example, you want to do this white part now is to avoid that the blue is already dry, because then it will leave this kind of straight line, because acrylics are drying very, very quick. But even if it happens, then you actually just with more white paint, you can, and going later on top, you can cover it, yeah? And let's say here with sponge, I can also help myself, yeah, with so kind of blurring these two, yeah, creating this. And yeah, so when washing brush, yes, especially if you used blue, then I always advise to wipe it with the paper towel before going to next color, because it always sticks there where the metal part is. No? I mean, when you go from light to dark, it's maybe not so important. Or you can also use parallel, like a brush for dark stuff and the brush for light. And then, so I did this blue sky, this white, yeah, fluffy thing. Now I go for this turquoise part of the window. Yeah, again, I try, of course, to follow the line, but I remember that later I will have the black. Yeah, so I can go now a bit more. Yes, and then remember, for the straight line, you hold your brush parallel to the line. And now I can take bigger brush and mix nice green color. Yeah, not so not dark. The green should be light, so much more yellow if you're mixing it with blue. If you have some green ready, that is kind of very light. And also you can use it with more water, so it's more transparent. because yes, we're trying to paint light. And then, of course, this part on the wall is the kind of main. Yes, I would even suggest not adding, you can add white as well. It will, of course, yeah, make it more pale. Probably also on copper painting, it is somewhat pale. Yeah, okay, I'll add some white. Yeah, so actually I had these leftovers of turquoise. I'm mixing it also inside because it gives like really this pale greenish. Yeah, and then we are just painting the wall. So, and also for example, it will probably be like this, that you won't have enough of paint, and then you have to mix another pile because the wall is big. So one can also kind of add much more water, and first time kind of go just with the real water. Yeah, so instead of sitting very thick layer, I kind of cover everything, but with watery layer. And then later, if it feels, let's say, too transparent, too pale, I can go on top with more paint. It's also because, sometimes it's not always easy to repeat the mix we did. Because here, for example, I added some turquoise because I had some leftovers, and then I will, if I want whole wall to look the same, then and if you look close in the original, you can see also some yellow and even a bit reddish kind of swipes. So this one can also later when it's dry, it can go on top. And for example, if you put color and it looks too bright, in my case it is now like this, what I can also do, I can go with white paint just directly on my drawing, but I take it again pretty much watery. So I'm not covering with white. I'm kind of making it, mixing white but inside. So I want, and then it will look like more pale. I don't know how you say pale in German. Like as if it's a goat. Here. And for example, now it's also like a moment where you can come back and let's say make this yellow part of the wall, because now the blue is probably already dry, so you're safe to get in with yellow and not. And the easier way to make a straight line with color is just taking more paint on your brush. Yes. So let's let the paint do the job, yeah, not the brush. So if you have enough of paint, it will sit there easily. Yeah, so after this, well, maybe we can go to, yeah, we go then to red, dish, and this. So the person, yeah, then maybe we can do also put the base color for the building, and then also let this red dry, and later come back with the black parts. You let me know, guys. Do you have these colors as Naples yellow and pink? And if you don't, then we go.
Have it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Then it's then life is easy.
Also,
Very nice. Because yeah, then we can put light pink for the dress and light, yeah, this peachy for the body, but really mix it with white. Yes, make it really pale, because then one can go on top, making it darker. Yeah, but we will need to keep, let's say, the face, for example, it looks very very light. Yeah, and yeah, some also light on this upper part of the leg where the dress is ending. Yeah, there is also exactly where the shadow is falling under the arms on the legs. There is also very the light part. Yeah, so try to color here all, yeah, according to these lightest parts, and then later one you work your way up for the darker. Yeah, then in some parts you'll take just pink directly from the tube and add, yeah, in some parts of the dress. So, but we will be keeping these light parts. So what I do, I clean well my brush again. Yes, if well, the water should be clean, still kind of clean. We haven't used black, yeah, but when your water is dirty, then it's also good to change it. And well, let's say I take peachy, tiny bit, lots of white, mix it. And then I go and just color her face. I'm just putting this my pink color very light all over. It also doesn't ruin my pencil. I can still see through. So so then I did the face. I'm doing the neck. Yeah, then I'll do this the leg part. Yeah, where this light is. Yeah, I imagine you probably almost see nothing on on the screen because it's like very, very long. Yeah, then I do the leg. And if it's comfortable for you, you can color all the leg. If you know, if it's big enough on your drawing, your brush, you know, gets only where the light is, then you can color only the light part and then later go with a separate color for the shadow. Yeah, and I go all along the arm. Yeah, the knees, they also have their light. Yeah. All right, that's it. And then I can move to and do the same with the pink. Yeah, so take tiny bit of pink, bigger amount of white. Yes, and then again, I can either just you know, color only the parts where I know the light is, and don't color where the shadow will go. But you can also just color all the rest if it's easier for you. Okay? In this case, there is no right or wrong technique. It's just the way maybe.
Oh ja, die houtfarben, hè?
Met wijs.
Wijs?
Met wijs. Die houtfarben met wijs voor je hout.
Ah, wijs.
Met houtfarben.
Ja.
Ja, heb je zo'n beetje niks.
Ja.
Yeah, so even if it looks very pale on your drawing at the moment, yeah, those spots are important because you know, they will create this game between light and shadow. You know? And since my you know, we are pink now, I will go and do some darker pinks somewhere. Let's say I have some spots on the ear. Yeah. Maybe I should have gone there with a tinier brush. Yeah, so at this moment one can also kind of juggling. Yes, to have like small and tiny brush at the same time in your hands, and then if it's really something small, and then yeah. So now I have my pink as it is from the tube, and I go with a small brush, and so I go where these bright pink parts are. Yeah? So for example, also where the breast, I keep this pink that we mixed with white, and next to it, I add a little bit of the bright pink. Yeah, and this will be also creating the shape. Yeah, because the breasts are round. That's why the shadow is going this way. Yeah, so maybe some lines also where the foldings are. Yeah, and still in this point, also no worries if you get over, because then later we have this darker shadow part. Very interesting and somewhat complicated to paint always this part. You see this so legs that is under the arm. It feels as if there is a light, but it's in the shadow. So this one is always tricky. So what I do now, I added just pink there, a bit watery. Yeah, so maybe not so. I will let it dry. Later I will play there with some gray on top, because you need to manage the color that is kind of, it's not bright as light, but it's still, so it's like light in the shadow. Yes, the same here in the legs. This the part of the leg that is at the bottom. Yeah, there is also this reflection. And then we see, so we have this body color on top of the leg. Then we will have a stripe of gray as the shadow. And then the leg has still this pinkish gray, yeah, that is lighter than the shadow. Yeah, so with all these combinations, one gets the feeling of.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, how are you doing? Am I rushing? Sorry.
Huh?
Am I rushing? Am I going quick?
No. It's just that we need to also paint it, so like paying attention and paint.
Okay. Yeah. Stop me when it's needed.
But we are working on it.
But we don't have much time anymore.
No, I mean, I have all the time you need or you want. Unless you are in a rush, then then I don't know. And then we can.
We are not in a hurry, but
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, we've been already 1 hour 15 painting. Yeah. Well, then let's try going a bit more quicker. So I'm squeezing out tiny bit of brown. Yeah, don't need much, just for this part of the hair. And then I'm squeezing also Payne's gray that I will use to create shadows on the body, and then also all the other dark parts. So yes, I put brown, not much water, straight from the tube, like sitting, yeah, where the pile there. Yeah, on the back of the hair, and can go straight to black and kind of mix a bit. Yeah, and here it's good to use dry brush, so then it helps to create this feeling of the hair. Yeah. And for the shadows, of course, I need it to be watery. Yes, so a tiny bit of this black somewhere there on my palette. It will be always more paint that you need. Yes, and then I mix some pink inside, and then I can go for the back. So I have this grayish, grayish pink color. Sometimes it even turns a little bit into purple. That actually feels nice. Yeah, it feels a bit cleaner. And I go around all my foldings. Yeah. Later, I can go and repeat some darker parts. Yes, so this is, let's say, kind of light shadow that I'm putting. Yeah, so later, of course, one still has to differentiate between the different shadows. Because if you leave them all this light, Yes, very good. And then where the face is, of course, the tiny brush, and also kind of a bit more watery. It means that maybe you will need to repeat. Yes, in this case, it's a bit more like with watercolors. You put, and then it's too light, and you have to go and repeat. Yeah, and then I paint with the shadow under the chin. And then I need to get a tiny, just kind of touch up where the nose is. Yes, and for the eye, a bit more darker, so a bit maybe already not so watery, but it's of course only just one touch. So you decide where your eye is. And good if you do just like one touch, yeah, don't believe me, even if it's not as precise as you wish, it will look better than if you yeah, start kind of trying to fix it and move it. Yeah. Here I add a little bit yellow on top of her hair. Yes. And now I can come back with the so I come back with my thin brush and already darker, and then I can go in some parts where I see darker shell, like say also the shoulder. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So where are these darker shadows? So then again, where the shoulder is, then where the breast is, and then yeah, some foldings on the dress. Also, generally, you might want to do the back a little bit darker. Of course, it's the part that is against of the sun. Yes, and then it might help also to get the feeling if you put those falling shadows. So falling is yeah what the body creates on the bed. Yes, so between the legs and behind. So once you put them, and you can put them really dark, almost black, yes, and then it will also help you kind of feel the other shadows that are on the body. Yes, how lighter or a bit more transparent. You should put. And then of course, here you go as delicate as I mean as you have time or your wish. One can of course see it and do it very, very detailed and yeah, but going quick, it means deciding, watching and seeing, okay, where is darker, where is lighter and yes, also very important to put shadow is where one object is touching another. So let's say where one hand is touching the other one, put there a little black line, because there is always this falling shadow, yes. Also the darkest where the part where she's sitting, yes, the bed, there is always this falling shadow part. Yes, for example, the line under the nose and lips, I can put pretty much bright, yeah, because it's little spots, it's very little color, yeah, but it will help to have the face a bit more visible. Yes, and then of course one should kind of from time to time look at the whole, and then there is also a thing that one should always do is uniting. So if I take a look and I see something is jumping out, yeah, maybe some part of the leg that is under. What I do, I just take gray paint. I go over it all, yeah, with some layer of waterish gray, and it unites. Yeah, so I've started, of course, brushing now because before we write. How are you doing, guys? Are you with the person still, or you moved
Yes.
to other parts of painting?
No.
Okay, the person, good. Yeah, so now it's really a game of grays, and so I kind of have yeah, this liquidish gray on my palette, and I go playing. Yes, I take a bit lighter gray, I take a bit darker one, and then I put it on, yeah, where I feel it's needed. And then the shape of shadows, of course, is important. And why? Because it shows the shape of the body. Yeah, so it's not that, oh yeah, the shadow is going there just, you know, the way it goes. It's because the muscles, yeah, the shape of body is this way. So the bigger person or the thinner or whatever body structure we have, and then the shadows will be yeah, changing in a different way. Yes, and shadow plus light, this means shape. One can, it's also good, it's okay to take sometimes break from, yeah, let's say lots of details and everything. One can move to, yeah, whatever other part of the drawing. Yeah, take a rest and then come back for some details also. Since we were here with all these grays, yeah, I will continue. So for example, where the vertical line of yellow is, next to it we see yeah, two black lines. So in between this turquoise and yellow. What I do now, I go just with this grayish, waterish color there, and I will let it dry, and later I will go with black there. Yeah, so it's this some tiny stripes. Yeah, so how create the light, then I just easily cover all with gray, and then later, yeah, we'll be going with the black. And then of course with gray where the bed is. And there is also different combinations. There is darker, there is lighter. You know, one can, yeah, and I take really watery, yeah, in this moment. And again, I can go, for example, in the parts where I see, yeah, the foldings of the bed, they're light. I can go this side of the bed. Yes, and once the part is dry, yeah, where I kind of prepare this light gray, then I can go next to it with dark gray. Yes, and for example, the upper part of the bed, It can be also, oh, it's of course never good to leave white, yeah, especially it's kind of big area, so not just to leave paper. I take very light yellow. So in this case, I take a pile of white and just tiny touch the yellow, and then even smaller than you took on the brush. And then you mix it with white. And then you can, because yellow is also pretty much intense, yeah, when you mix with white. And so it's really tiny bit. I mean, otherwise you just don't have to create a new mix. Yeah, so there is on the pillow, yeah, this white, and on the bed here in front. And the other parts are a bit grayish. Yeah, I see also a bit blue. Yeah, maybe you don't have to go in such details, but some parts see grayish blue. Yeah, so one can, if one can also but they all should be like putting very watery. Yeah, put now a bit more arms on. Yes, when I do these foldings of the bed, so I put the black line and then I kind of a little bit blur out with the brush. Once again, I put dark line and then the line, yeah, that I don't want to be so strictly straight. Then I wash my brush, and then with clean brush, I kind of make it a bit blurring. Yeah, so then, because with the folding is that one line is always really straight and one line is a bit blurred. Yeah, so and how you tell which one is which? So of course, in general, you just look at the original. Yeah, let's say also if you have some curtains that you're painting, but the strictly straight line we have in paintings, it usually goes where there is object, there is no object. Yeah, so let's say this is my folding. Yeah, it goes curvy, and the part where it's kind of there is air behind it. Yeah, because then it goes kind of behind, and then the other folding appears. So this line is always just strictly straight. And when this folding is kind of just curvy, yeah, then these lines we are showing, yeah, with this blurred part. Yeah, so there are some also lines on top of the bed. Yeah, I apologize. I started rushing because, yeah. So we are not late too much. And yeah, so what we have a red house left and all the black parts of the walls. Yeah, that depends. Could be. Yeah, so one can, for example, color the red house and then again wait till it's dry. And then I come back. I have mixed red with a little bit of this Payne's gray, and it's giving me nice dark purple color. Yeah, so this is the difference. Instead of using black, yeah, it's not dirty. It's because as it has blue inside, and we know blue with red gives purple. Yeah, so it looks especially nice when you have some parts that you need to make a little bit more, say, transparent, light. And then in this moment, it shows. Yeah? Because if we put it very, very intense, it probably will look, doesn't matter if it's black or purple, it will look very dark. But yeah, in some parts you kind of add more water, have it lighter, and it's where a tip that I would give by put all these big spaces with black. So again, depending on your brush, and so for bigger spaces, don't worry. Yeah, if you have these brush strokes, don't try to fight it. Yeah, so it's perfect. It's easier, just the same as when you paint the walls, yeah, in a room. You will never get it perfect with the first go. Just let it dry, and then with the second, it will cover it perfectly. So yeah. Yes, and again, remember, you hold your brush, so the part where you want to make a straight line, then you follow. Yes, so now not where the brush is ending, but kind of along. Yeah, then it's easy. Painting hopper walls feels really like as if you're painting walls. Yeah, and here again, one can hold both brushes at the same time, so one bigger, one smaller. And yeah, with the small, you kind of get in to some small spaces. And of course, having brush more watery is easier, yeah, to draw a line. But then, of course, the line will be more, let's say, transparent, and it means maybe you have to go second time. Yeah, so it's kind of also having a bit of balance, yeah, not too much water, so it's all floating. But if you won't have water at all, then it just, you have to come back many times, back and forth to your palette. And then you can't draw a line, you know, one line without lifting up the brush. Then you have to, yeah, so I prefer kind of make it medium watery, draw one line, and then I'll go back and, you know, when it's dry, I will repeat on top. Also, don't forget these little gray lines on the yellow wall. Yeah, careful, take a look the direction. They're going slightly a bit up. Yeah, sometimes if you don't kind of look, one can, you know, paint them going down, and then it will create the wrong perspective impression. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We try our best.
Say again, Anna?
We try our best.
I imagine, and actually imagine how, because we started to rush, I started to rush, and it's this painting is for you. It's not a rest, it's always a challenge.
Yeah. It is.
Yes, having enough time is, of course, for everything, not only for painting.
So what time did he take for this painting? I think 2 days, yes?
Well, I mean, if I paint it by myself, then of course it goes quicker, yeah, because I don't have to talk, and maybe I'll.
In 2 hours.
Yeah, now we're almost 2 hours. 10 to 8 on your side. Yeah, but here we spend more time on sketch, of course. We have spent, you know, maybe. For example, this wall that is where the green thing is, I will mix there with a little bit brown. Yeah, the same brown that's kind of left over on the palette. And what I will also do, so I will pull it and I will try to wipe. Yeah, because it looks a bit lighter. So we see the shadow there in the corner. And here, for example, the sponge can help a lot. Yeah, it might take in some moment a bit too much of color, but it will also kind of Oh, Marianne, you've chosen a difficult thing.
Who chooses it? Me?
Yeah, I think together or something. Okay, now
So, for example, painting this big wall, one can also use the corner, yeah, where you kind of hide your brush strokes, because also this corner is where you have this a bit darker corner. Yeah. Yeah, rushing so much. One is then tired to get back to the human, retouching. Yes, but if you do, then it's probably just kind of retouching some shadows and just making darker some parts. It's also maybe just accents. Yeah. For example, under the neck could be, yeah, you want to get darker, or here behind the dress, yeah, where she's sitting, where the falling shadow is meeting her neck.
But didn't he first paint the background and then the lady?
Say again, Marijn, finish them.
No, didn't he paint the background first and then the woman?
He made it in oil, no? It's another technique. Procedure. Another technical procedure, I think.
Ah, yeah.
So you can cover with the next. You can cover it.
Okay. Yeah. Ah, okay. That's why it's impossible. Yeah. Eentje de berg. No era bota.
Yes, Marijn, no better water.
So how long did it take to take this picture?
But you mean when I painted it myself?
No, Hopper.
Ah, for Hopper. Yeah, I don't know if he was working. Actually, yes. Now I remember I was reading. He worked very slowly, but in the
Yeah.
meaning more in preparation. He would prepare a lot. He would walk and think and make lots of sketches and think about the colors. And once he was totally ready with his idea and he knew where all the lines and everything is going, then he would start painting the canvas. And I don't know, if it's hours or days or, because of course in oils you do and then you leave, and sometimes you need to wait till it's dry to continue. So
Yeah. Okay.
And Hopper, he was working in oils and also in watercolors. Yeah, but
Okay.
not, of course, yeah, okay. I will take off my tape so then it looks nice.
So we just send you an in-between photo already?
Of course, send me. Yes.
Then you can see how far we are.
All right, let's see. All right. Yeah, not bad. So I'm sure the house you will do easily. Let's take a look at the girl. Very nice color of the dress. Yeah. So we can try doing something with the face if you want to. So if you have, of course, this kind of this size, yeah, very small brush, yeah. So just kind of doing what's missing, a little tip of inside the ear shadow, yes. So just like one line, because ear should always have this thing. And then I would also, now we're using just small brush and some this grayish, dark thing. Then also try to connect, put a dark line under the ear, connecting with the shadow of the neck, of the back of the neck. Yeah. So just a little bit, just under the ear. Yeah. Then it will give this, and then make your mix more waterish, so not as dark as you have these shadows under the skin, but yeah, these lighter ones. And do a little bit here on the cheek. You see? So I want here a little bit. Yeah, there is some pink line, but also some shadowish. Yeah. Because you kind of have there also even, yeah, in this drawing you can see it better. Yeah, you have here light pink, but just cover slightly with this grayish, yeah, mix. And also here where the side of the head, because these things, yeah, have like show the shape of the head. Yeah, so a little bit, because your hair is very nice. Yeah, so just these two grayish parts. So the ear we are leaving clean, just with a little black inside, and then from ear, yeah, towards the nose, but just halfway this. So let's take a look at. You send the second one, huh? No. Oh, no.
Yeah,
Okay. So while you work on head, let's take a look at Anna. Nice. Nice.
I don't like her face.
You don't like her face. You can, for example, if it's dry already, you can make the lips maybe pink. Just sit on top of the lips, pink color. Yeah, it may also give another feeling. And very, very tiny line under the nose. Yeah, the nose always have shadow. It's the same as the roof always have shadow under it because it's going over. Yeah, so we all people have this shadow. That's why, you know, when you put this light, yeah, the other way, and the shadows are going, because we all get used to that. And let's say, of course, yeah, you got maybe your eye a bit, yeah, this black dark spot. What you can do, clean well the brush, go inside the white, and just kind of make it a bit smaller. So, and it will make it perfect. You see, like here it is, there is some gray, and then the black inside. So it will work perfectly for you. You will make it gray and leaving just smaller part of, yeah. Yes, face, of course, it's always complicated. Yeah. Also, what I would make a bit darker here on the top of the shoulders, yeah, but like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's again, this is the part that is opposite to light. Yeah, the light is not getting in there. And a little bit on the lower part of the leg.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's because the leg is curvy, it's round. That's why the shadow goes this way. Yes, that it has. Yes, but still nice. It's yeah, I imagine it's a hard work. Very good job with shadows. Yeah, the falling shadows. Yes, and also again, then also with this tiny brush, just a little bit. For example, where the hand is touching the leg, yes, or this other where the fingers are. It's again just because one object is touching another, but very tiny. I mean, if you don't have tiny brush, maybe you can leave. But but one can also go with not so black, but more grayish. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will give a nicer feeling of. But tell me how you both feel about the painting result.
It's just it's a lot of concentration.
Still concentration, still not not having feelings about the result.
Not relaxed.
No, it's hard work. It's yeah. Failure.
No.
No, Mariah.
Own creation, or it's individual, more expressive, more expressive. No.
It's of course it's all practice and training and everything. And here we try to do so much in such a little amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, of course, it's
okay.
Yeah. Imagine the body of person.
Also that, yes.
I mean, once after you've spent, hours doing the body, then you might be, making it good in these quick aquarelle sketches because you already studied it so much, you know it, and then you can go creating it quickly and easier, with less lines.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine when I was going to the school, we would paint, let's say, in 3 sessions, and each session would last 2 hours. So you come, you do 2 hours, then you go home, another day you come again, take your drawing that you left, and continue. Yes, and then of course it would have different stages, the stage of construction. Yes, yeah. But here we try to finish also with precision of details.
Yes.
Yeah, so no. I mean, it looks, for what we have, it looks really, really nice result. You can see you were, working hard, concentrated.
Yeah. And yeah, you have to do the same time, listen and then also do. But then sometimes you just forget.
Yes, I imagine. I mean, that's why I try to kind of, say all the like everything, every movement I do, because imagine both watching and painting your thing is not.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't have eyes. Yeah, that's why when I start rushing, you should stop me then. So then
no, no. Otherwise, we'll still here at 11 o'clock. It really takes concentration and work. Yes, it's like work.
Well, it is. Yes, I mean, I always feel tired, not tired, but I want to rest after. Thinking. Then I go get some tea, because of course it's.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how big is the painting?
How
Okay.
big one? Well, there you got me. I haven't.
What?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Yeah.
Is it like,
I did bad my homework. I read a lot about Hopper, and I didn't read very precisely on
okay, yeah.
this one. Yeah. But I'll check and I'll message.
I can check it myself.
Okay, I'll stop recording.